Seattle Refined.
Go to the wood and bring me back.
Refined goes into the woods at a local theater, but this fairy tale has hidden messages for the audience. Plus, a side of Victoria you've never seen before.
There is something for everyone, and that's the beauty of these sites, really.
Refined goes on an epic fall road trip with surprising stops at every turn, including a castle you've seen on the big screen. Then,
I think that's good. I'm gonna call it good, man. You did a great job. I want to see you on the field this Sunday with all 10 fingers.
I get cooking with a Seahawk and a top chef and whip up a powerhouse po' boy. That's offensive, but in a good way. Seattle Refined starts now. Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson in Snohomish today. We consider ourselves theater junkies at Refine. We are constantly looking for the new play or musical that comes to town. So when we heard a local group was taking on a beloved Broadway show from the late 80s, we couldn't wait to check it out.
Once Upon a Time.
What happens after Happily Ever After? That's the fascinating question posed by Into the Woods, the magical Tony Award-winning show now playing at Issaquah's Village Theater. The acclaimed Stephen Sondheim musical brings Cinderella, Rapunzel, and many of your other favorite fairy tale characters to life with a twist.
The first thing that you hear is, I wish. And it's the engine that drives all the character stories.
We can always give her the boy. No.
But don't expect any Disney-like happy endings to these stories.
Some of them are really profound, like I wish I might have a child. And Cinderella she wants to go to the festival.
King is giving a festival.
More than life.
I wish to go to the festival.
More than rich.
Even if you've seen Into the Woods before, this version has something other productions have overlooked.
A really cool aspect about our set is that the tree leaves are all made up of wishes, and the wishes come from people in the community. We have wishes from little kids wishing for things like gingerbread or to have a dog, all the way through adults wishing for health and happiness. They make up the entire forest.
And for many of the performers, their wish came true the moment they got cast.
I saw the original Broadway production in 1987. It's one of my first Broadway shows, and I've been waiting, all that time to be old enough to play the baker.
Into the woods, I'm not forgetting why I'm on the journey.
I saw the original production and was amazed by it.
Mari Nelson watched Broadway superstar Bernadette Peters play the witch in the original company. Now she's tackling the role. How's that for intimidating?
She's so iconic and so extraordinary. It was hard because that performance, it's indelible and it's hard to get it out of your head, but what I really wanted to do is have nothing to do with that. I just wanted to erase it so that I could try to put my own stamp on it and find my own way through.
When lightning crash and the lightning flash. Well, that's another story, never mind. Anyway, at last the big day came.
One of the characters audiences fall in love with night after night is Little Red Riding Hood.
It's always super fun to play a child because they don't have any inhibitions and they are just so forward all the time. But especially with Little Red, she gets to skip around the set and she's really blunt, and so she's got a lot of funny lines where she's just being a child.
Out of these woods.
But the emotional center of the show is the baker's wife, who steals the spotlight and hearts all at the same time.
She has, I think, the clearest path of any character, like why she wants what she wants, and she's not going to let anything get in the way.
What was that?
Witches, giants, dwarfs, and even Prince Charming roams these woods, and the paths lead to some pretty dark and unexpected places.
I had 5 people all at once. They were sitting on the stairs. I was coming out to get in the car, and there was a lot of pure emotion. The depth of the story, they're feeling it, they're connecting with it. They actually had tears in their eyes, and it's because of the story that they tell in this piece.
It's been a challenge, but a great challenge. And the music is, I've been singing this music for 30 years, so it's to hear it with a full orchestra and with these voices, it's a dream. It's awesome.
Into the Woods at the Village Theater in Issaquah runs through October 22nd. For more info, head to SeattleRefined.com. From Into the Woods to Onto the Highway, It is the perfect time of year to take that fall trip, and lucky for us, we don't have to go far. Thanks to our sponsors, Tourism Victoria, we discovered one of the coolest adventures on the West Coast. You may already know how amazing Victoria, BC is, but you may not realize it's also the starting point of an incredible journey. To get there, you can book yourself a Victoria Sea and Sky package. It's a joint offer from Kenmore Air and Clipper Vacations. Head up to Victoria on a float plane, then catch the Clipper back, or vice versa. We touched down and hit the highway for Vancouver Island's ultimate road trip, the Pacific Marine Circle Route. The first leg, Victoria to Souk, it had some breathtaking stops along the way. First, we needed some food to fuel up, so we visited Philippi Bakery for artisan treats.
Our main foundation is bread and traditional French pastries.
Everything is made from scratch and baked in a traditional wood oven. The result is beautiful and delicious. Our next destination, a blast from the past, literally. If you're a history buff, or even if you're not, you'll want to check out Fort Rod Hill and Fiskard Lighthouse, both located on the same picturesque 40 acres.
Fort Rod Hill is the only fort that is still standing, and we're protecting it, Parks Canada is, to really portray what the history of Victoria would be.
The past comes alive here with old gun batteries, bunkers, and exhibits to explore.
This room is one of the casemate rooms, so a lot of the soldiers in their downtown would be here either to shine their boots, organize their bed for the evening.
Another must-see, spectacular Fiskard Lighthouse.
It has lots of history to it. It is the first lighthouse on the west coast of Canada, so it's quite significant to Canada altogether.
Built in 1860, visitors of all ages can check out the interactive displays and enjoy the sights.
There's games over there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And there's a telescope that you can see very, very far away.
Refined even got to climb to the top to take in the view. Off limits for most guests. And speaking of guests, you can actually sleep on the property in one of these authentics, a cross between a tent and a cabin. Then it was time to get back on the road for a stop at Hatley Castle. You probably recognize this stately structure from hit movies like X-Men and Deadpool. Megastar Ryan Reynolds was just here a couple of months ago, and he posted a pic on Twitter. Turns out this castle is actually part of a university campus in real life. Then it was time to continue along the PMCR to Souk and Souk Harbor House, a stunning one-of-a-kind inn.
Each room in the hotel has a different name, a different theme to it, different decor. This is the Raven's Nest room. As you'll see, one of the pieces of artwork in here is the Raven's Nest. So you'll notice the lovely view of the Olympic Mountains. Out of 28 of our rooms, 27 of them have ocean views. This is a very unique place in terms of art. We have hundreds of different types of art here, all showcased. You have to be from Vancouver Island in order to have your art here.
A strong connection to the land is part of what makes this place so special. Even the chef takes his inspiration from nature when creating his dishes.
This is just a little of the fresh herbs from our garden. There's some sage and thyme. I'll take my dog for a walk and you'll see something sprouting and then you're like, oh, I want to make my plate look like that. For the most part, the food speaks to you and you just do what it tells you to do.
Whether savoring creative cuisine or simply enjoying the scenery, the inn is the place for nourishing mind and body. To learn more about the Pacific Marine Circle route, head to SeattleRefined.com. And our adventure kicks into high gear tomorrow with some surfing and the gnarliest tree in Canada. Refine's fall road trips don't stop there. We have a list of 5 fantastic fall road trips on SeattleRefined.com. Our Refined writer, Rebecca Mongrain, searched out the best spots for apple picking, pumpkin patches, fall foliage, and wine tasting. The best part, all of the locations are less than 3 hours from Seattle. To check it out, head to our website. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
And I said, hey, it shrunk, and I said, just get rid of it. And she said, no, I'm making something out of it.
A mom gets seriously creative, turning her husband's trash into a stylish treasure for her kids. But first, don't cut yourself. We're in the middle of the season, buddy. All right? I join a Seahawk and tackle one of the tastiest sandwiches in Seattle. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Seattle is one of the best cities in the country, but when it comes to culture, music, and food, New Orleans gives us a run for our money. If a trip to the Big Easy isn't in your budget, don't worry. This Friday, New Orleans is coming to you. Get ready for the second annual New Orleans Food and Funk Festival. The WAMU Theater at CenturyLink will feature all things tasty about the Big Easy. Everything from shrimp gumbo to brass bands, starting with sweet vibes from headliner The Soul Rebels. Music is just part of the celebration. Get ready for some incredible eats from powerhouse southern restaurants from around the Sound, like Rue and Fremont. They'll be serving up all things New Orleans style, especially with the help from their partners, the Seahawks, and Hawks football foodie frontman, Reese Odiambo. So Matt, what are we making? It's a big event, right?
It's a huge event, man. We had one last year, and it was great. Everybody showed up. We had a great time, great food. For this event, we're going to show you guys how to do po' boys. Something super simple, classic New Orleans cuisine. I think it goes hand in hand. You think New Orleans, you think beignets, you think po' boys. We're going to have both of those at the event.
Now, you know, Reese has a huge appetite, so you better make a few for this guy. Look at this guy. Flex for me, buddy.
Right?
Yeah, let's go. With Chef Matt Lewis, we started warming up authentic rolls flown in from New Orleans and coating the fresh shrimp.
Next week, we have our own little breading here for seafood. Basically cornmeal braced. A couple of little secrets and tricks there. We bring our shrimp up from New Orleans as well, so we support our local guys there.
This is really authentic, isn't it?
Very authentic, very authentic. I make Grandma real proud every time we make one of these.
So, Reese, are you a shrimp guy?
I love shrimp.
Yeah, good stuff, isn't it?
There we go. You're gonna love this then.
Once the New Orleans shrimp was all battered up, we dropped them in the deep fryer until they were just right, about 3 minutes. With the shrimp cooking, the offensive tackle got busy with his new teammates, a tomato and knife.
Perfect. And I think that's good. I'm gonna call it good, man. You did a great job. I want to see you on the field this Sunday with all 10 fingers. You did a great job, but man, I'm nervous for you, boss. So classic po' boys, right? We call it dressed. And all that dressed means is it's mayo, lettuce, tomato, and pickle.
Simple.
Simple.
Real simple.
If somebody's putting onion on it, we call that nouveau po' boys. We go classic.
After loading up these po' boys with all the goodies, it was time to give them a try.
There's never enough. When somebody unwraps their sandwich, if at least 2 don't fall out, you didn't do the right job, right? Like, that's not enough on there. Like, you want them fighting for position in here, right?
Definitely.
So a little bit of lettuce on top of there. There you go, however you want that.
You think Russell Wilson would like this sandwich?
I hope you would.
At least
make him one. Bring it back to
3 or 4 tomatoes right there.
That looks spectacular.
And for me, it's the pickles that make the sandwich.
So before you take a bite, I always wanted to know, tell me about calling a play in the huddle. Just call out a play for me.
Oh, man.
Give me a play.
Don't give up any secrets, though, man. You know, we got a big game this weekend.
You know, the only thing I probably have, you know, you can like trap pass right. But I mean, it's still like a whole list before that I'm not really quite familiar with.
All right, that's good for me. All right, let's go. Let's eat this baby.
All right, here we go, guys.
That's offensive, but in a good way.
There you go.
Wow, that's really good.
We'll take it.
The New Orleans Food and Funk Festival is this Friday, September 29th at the WAMU Theater at CenturyLink. Things are about to get nasty at Key Arena tomorrow night. Janet Jackson, Miss Jackson if you're nasty, has a concert tomorrow at 8 o'clock. It's a reschedule for her concert that was canceled last summer. At last check, there are still seats available. Coming up, the Seattle food truck that may have you rethinking the way you like your pizza. We'll explain when we come back. Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, Seattle is home to a lot of innovators, and that list now includes a creative Seattle mom. When Courtney Hartman couldn't find any gender cliche-free tees for her son, she decided to create her own. That's how her business, Free to Be Kids, was born. She's now selling kids' shirts with slogans like, "Boys will be good humans," "Love is my superpower," and "Feminists like Daddy." To check it out, head to SeattleRefined.com. There must be something in the water. We found another mom who is also getting creative when it comes to kids' clothing. The inspiration? Her husband's hand-me-downs.
Who wants salsa on their plate?
At the Miller home, things can get a little hectic. With 4 kids, 5 and under, who all just happen
That used to be one of my shirts.
to be wearing Dad's clothes.
His pants are one of my shirts.
It sounds very odd, but it's true.
This is the first one I made.
Stephanie Miller actually makes her kids' clothes out of her husband's dress shirts.
She just keeps raiding my closet.
It was just after her first baby was born 5 years ago when Stephanie found herself with a heavy case of the baby blues.
And I remember I just cried. And I was like, why am I crying all the time?
Then one day her husband threw a new shirt in the donation pile.
She said, "What the heck? Why are you getting rid of this? I just barely bought this for you." And I said, "Hey, it shrunk." And I said, "Just get rid of it." And she said, "No, I'm making something out of it."
Crafting and art is such a big part of my life.
Stephanie started cutting and sewing and sewing and cutting, making one outfit after the other. Suddenly, she felt a surge of energy.
As a mom, all of your time and energy and efforts all go into the well-being of your children, and not a lot of time goes into yourself. And for me, having a creative outlet was a place where I could have energy going towards me.
Stephanie's story has gone viral as thousands of people are now following her on Instagram, Facebook, and on her YouTube channel, where she gives instruction on how she does it. She's also been featured on Good Morning America, and she's done it all without any classes or professional training.
No, it was more about the creative process of making. I'll take one step at a time and see where this adventure takes me.
Through it all, Stephanie has learned a valuable lesson, and it has to do with following your passions, no matter how busy your life may be.
If you're passionate at it, just work hard and you can become good at anything. Just like that, I've made a dress.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, when you need to grab a quick bite, a slice of pizza always does the trick. But you may never go back to the normal slices if you stop by a Seattle food truck. They are taking pizza to a whole new gourmet level.
It's really good, fresh, and you can see the real wood-burning fire.
This is the Twisted Hawaiian. Pretty excited to eat it.
Stella Fiore Pizza is a mobile, wood-fired pizza oven owned and operated by husband and wife team Chris and Katie Amos.
Well, there's my wife, Katie, but we've been doing this now for 5 years.
Chris and Katie are passionate about creating delicious artisan pizzas with the finest ingredients available.
But we try to use whatever we can locally. We try to make what we can, and the rest of it we try to use as high-quality ingredients as we possibly can. So we use things like prosciuttos, the salamis. We hand-cut our pineapple. We make our dough fresh daily.
My favorite thing about our pizza is the crust. We went through so many different recipes with this until we got it down just how we like it. So we obviously have our dough balls that we start with. I also like our cheese. It's a whole milk mozzarella that we use on most of our pizzas. So good, buttery.
But of course, the showstopper at Stella Fiore is the wood-burning pizza oven.
Yeah, the oven. We actually had this imported from Italy.
So with all this wood-fired gourmet goodness, you're willing to wait a little extra, right? Well, you don't have to.
So that's what always throws people off with us. Most people walk up and they're like, all right, so it's gonna be 10 or 15 minutes, right? And you say, no. Actually, from the time you order until your pizza's out to you is about 3 minutes.
Really good pizza. The crust is really good, nice and soft, and it's wood-fired, so it's fresh.
That's good.
Do you have a favorite food truck the Refined team needs to check out? Email us at hello@seattlerefined.com and let us know where we should eat next. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gart Swanson. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.